YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. We've got the RJ Gritter 1.2 meter Decathlon. This thing is a handful. It's really exciting to fly. 4S 2200 LEDs, no flaps though. Keep that in mind. But we do get thrust reverse. It'll help you slow it down. Very springy landing gear. This is gonna be our second thoughts for us. Just beautiful spring evening, and we can't get enough of flying this thing. Here we go. Neighbor's wanting to show, so he's going slow. So RJ Gritter is a full-scale pilot that kind of got his start from family ties in aviation. We're gonna do inside pass here, cam crew. But he also loves RC aviation, so it's really cool that Horizon partnered with him on this plane. We've got some bright LEDs too. They're gonna help to distinguish our position when we're flying on these sunset flights. It's about 50% stick input there for throttle. And then as you can see, very responsive, very agile. As soon as you let go of the sticks, it's just there. Now it's not dead calm right now, but it's pretty dang close to it. One of the things I was trying to do the other day was a flat spin, and I couldn't get it going, so I'm gonna try it again here. Oh, so cool. A little close to the ground to be doing that. I'm gonna kick it up here again. There we go. Let's see if I can get it going. Come on. There it is. Still not very good. So if you guys are brand new to Brian Phillips RC, we unbox these things, we build them, we radio set them up, and then we show you every step along the way, which makes for long format content. We try to give you guys something that's gonna help you really excel and find a little bit of success if you're brand new or just returning to the hobby. That's really what we specialize in. Oh, and by the way, let's check this out. Look, we have an excavator and a bulldozer, and then there's a golf cart too. That's our golf cart. We got that golf cart, middle of winter. Super fun addition to the family, so I can drive around the kids and not be crazy at all. So as you can see, we've got the excavator back doing work for us, which is pretty cool. We're super excited to have that started. They only had a real short day today because they had to bring the equipment in, and we're starting to get leaves on trees. A couple steps forward, please. Thank you. Very good. So if you guys are brand new with us and just trying to figure out what we do on this channel, it's not just flying around the planes, although this is what we call one of our second thoughts. So the second thoughts are where we basically take the plane to the skies again, kind of give it another run. And that's one thing I don't think people understand is when we fly these planes, we are flying them for maidens. Like it is the actual first flight. Go to the middle of the driveway, please, and hold tight there. Thank you. And so sometimes when you see us flying, we're flying up against really tight deadlines, and sometimes you see us flying just against Mother Nature timelines, AKA the sun setting, it's only 14 below zero at this time, or whatever it happens to be. Nice clean knife edge there, guys. I'm not very good at knife edges, to be honest. But man, the upside down performance is really solid. Hardly takes any elevator to keep her right where you want. And I do notice that about this. The Decathlon is way more loose on the sticks than like the J3 Cub would be. Very symmetrical movement. We got a flat wing there. In fact, almost a slight downward bent to the wing. I don't think it's supposed to be that way, but it's kind of the way the foam worked out on this one. Very responsive, very agile. They've got the AS3X2 nicely on this. If you don't know what AS3X is, it's artificial stabilization 3-axis. And what that does for you is it will help to resist environmental impact like wind, G-forces and things like that that might kick the plane in a direction that you didn't intend for it to go. But the thing it doesn't do is it doesn't automatically level. Now, you know what does though? Safe. So here's safe. I just turned it on. And as you can see, if you're a brand new pilot, remember, you gotta keep flying it, but look at this. I let go of the sticks and the plane just goes to a level attitude-ish. See, when I go this way, it just pulls it right back. If I push it down, it's limited on how far it can go down, and then it's limited on how far it can go up. So that's called limited bank angles. Now, one thing that's not gonna stop, I'm gonna demonstrate it now, is watch this. I'm gonna go into a power on stall. See that? But look at that, it recovers almost immediately, okay? So if you're trying to land, camera crew, I'm gonna cut in front of you. We're gonna come right in here. We're gonna see if we can get it. This is one thing to keep in mind if you're getting this plane. I'm in safe now, I never land in safe. But look at that, guys. Perfect looking landing, but you still need the real estate, and that's full up, okay? So coming out of safe now, I'm in AS3X. As you can see, I flipped it over. And the only reason I did that was because of the timer. Now, we also have telemetry on this plane, so you don't have to make decisions based on the timer. Stay there. Thank you. But what I'm gonna do is, remember, this one lands hot, camera crew. I don't know if you can remember that, but I just flew it the other night while you guys were gone. See how fast it's going still? Hard to slow it down, so there's a couple of different things you can do without flaps. Normally you would deploy flaps. It would change the angle of attack on the plane a little bit and allow you to point down without gaining speed. I'm gonna slip. That means I'm gonna use rudder and aileron together, opposite one another. Kind of a dirty slip there, okay? And then this time, I got into the prop a little bit. Let's see how bad I screwed it up. This thing has a crazy resonant frequency when you give full reverse thrust on landings like that, but I think I might have hit the tip of the blade. So let's go ahead and see how it does, taking off. Oh, it's not too bad. I probably didn't get it very bad. There's a little vibration. I bet I took off just a tip of one of the prop blades, which is too bad because it's painted. It's a beautiful prop. You hear it? Sounds like a gasser now. I definitely got it. Definitely chipped my prop. So there's also another thing you can do to figure out what you did to your prop, and that's called land and look at it, but I didn't want to do that. So I'm gonna get a better landing this time, show you guys it can be done, but just keep in mind, it takes a lot of real estate without flaps. And so just be prepared to glide the plane in. And this thing doesn't like to glide. It needs a little power to keep going. So it'll come in, but it will eventually bite. Okay, so as you can see, that was pretty good landing. We got in fine. Shorter runway like what we're dealing with might bite a little harder than yours. Full disclosure, back into forward thrust. Let's see how much we took off of the tip. Ooh. Holy cow. Yeah. Geez, I really hit that thing hard. I took the entire red off. No wonder it's out of balance.
I can't believe it didn't sound worse.
I know, that's crazy. Well, and I'm super bummed because that's a beautiful prop. You know what probably happened? I probably hit and it probably rubbed and then just broke the tip off. That's probably what happened. So now the way I'm gonna fix this is super easy. I'll just take a pair of scissors and cut down the other side until such a time as I can get a replacement prop, because a replacement prop, of course, is gonna fix that. It's gonna be like a 2-second repair. But in the meantime, if I wanna fly it, because we have so many different planes to choose from, what I'll do is I'll just take scissors and I'll physically just cut that same profile into the other plane, or the other
side
like
of
this,
the prop.
the other side of the prop.
Yep.
And then I'll run it up. In fact, we'll pause. I'll get scissors to do it right now. All right, so we got some shears, nothing special, just kind of basic scissors that are a little bit heavier duty. And then I got side cutters if that doesn't work. And full disclosure, we're in forward thrust and we have our throttle cut on. So we know that we should be safe. We've already tested that off camera. Oh, and then we didn't talk about the telemetry much. And looks like we're good with, yeah, we've got plenty of power to go ahead and take off and fly a little bit more. So we can test this as soon as we're done. Now, we have the benefit of this decorative design here. Obviously, we're never gonna get it back to the way it was. So I just wanna make sure I cut the right way. So it's gonna be like this, right? So spin like this, and then we're gonna cut like this, right? So that should get us really close. It's a real thin prop, that's why it's so resonant. Yeah, easy to cut, very easy to cut with this. Now, I wouldn't be surprised, I just wanna get a nice clean cut here so that it's not ugly. And then I wanna take just the very, 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 very tip off. Now again, that's not ideal. It's not gonna make the performance better, that's for sure. But at this point, I can tell I'm close. I'm not perfect, but I'm gonna be close. And so if you don't have scissors, you could use a knife, but just be careful, don't cut yourself. And then don't cut yourself with the prop either. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this back down. We'll just see how we do. It's kind of funny because sometimes when you lose a little length on your prop, you actually improve the performance. I know it sounds like a bunch of BS, but the truth is I've had it happen on a number of planes. Probably not this one. This one is probably at the top of what it needs. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the throttle hold and I'm gonna just secure the plane. Sound pretty dang good. I must have got lucky. I think it's not very perfectly balanced, but it's close enough. And you'd be amazed the efficiency loss from having an out of balance prop. Looks pretty good. And the telemetry has got the battery pretty much down in maybe the 5% territory. So as you can see, we're getting around just fine, doing some nice cornholes for you. Get that thing pointed down. Get into it hard, shoot the moon. Did I get the moon?
Nope.
Oh, dang it, I was trying to do it from your perspective and I didn't do a very good job. Okay, shooting the moon this time. There we are.
I made it.
Very good. Oh, it's so much fun. Guys, that's why we love flying these foam planes. I know some of you guys think, I'd rather have a balsa wood plane, and we get it. Camera crew's gonna come up with me. We're gonna try to take a landing. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go around and loiter. So my only complaints with this plane, being this is a second thoughts, is that the fact that a Decathlon doesn't have flaps and they were trying to do right by making an actual example of what this plane would be in real life. Hold on, this guy's gonna wanna see he's gonna wanna see something. So we'll go ahead and give him a loop. You can hear him.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll give him another pass because you know they wanna see it. Okay, critically low now. That's what you get for doing passes for the neighbors. Remember, if you annoy your neighbors with womp, 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 you gotta give them passes when they go by. Okay, so now we're totally clear. We'll go ahead and bring it in. There's a nice hole over here. We like to hit this hole. And then the cherry is almost invisible right now. Full reverse thrust is ready for us. Look at that. Gotta love it, guys. Okay, so like I was saying, my only complaint with this plane really has to do with the absence of flaps. I would like to have flaps, but that's more about where we fly than the plane itself. This plane in a normal circumstance would be totally fine. Also, when this cherry leafs out, which is not the white one, it's the one right above it, you can't see it, guys. It's very tall. It's right in the middle of the runway. Yes, we have paid somebody to move it, but we didn't get the weather window, so we didn't tear the heck out of the yard. And so we gotta wait for dry now because we were waiting for freeze and we never really got it, which is incidentally why the pond got put on hold, but then that never happened. And then we had a blizzard for like 3 weeks and then it was over. Winter was weird this year, admittedly.
Weird. Yeah.
So that tree's gonna move and a couple other ones are gonna move. It's gonna be a gorgeous approach.
Yep.
But we do love trees and I know you guys sometimes give us trouble like, just get the chainsaw and cut that thing down. No, I love the fox killing zone. And it's one of my favorite killer trees, okay?
Here. And these aren't ours, over there.
The ones over there aren't ours, although my friend has crashed in them. And we've gotten out extension ladders and stick of shame, which you guys don't know what the stick of shame is. It's a painter's pole that extends out to like 20 something feet long. And then we put things on top of that. And then we were on top of an extension ladder inside of the tree. It was really annoying.
I was so sorry I missed it.
And that was a mall.
Yep.
That was a mall and it was beeping. Beep, beep.
For like 2 days.
For like 2 days. But of course my friend couldn't hear it. I could hear it.
Yep.
Anyway, we got it out of there and it worked out fine. And funny enough, the battery was fine. Yeah. We saved it. Yeah.
Plane, not so much.
So, as far as concerns, the flaps are one of my concerns. I love the finish. I love the fit and finish on all the parts. The landing gear at first kind of rubbed me the wrong way because they're soft, okay? And you're gonna notice this if you fly on a rough strip. That can be the double-edged sword that either makes for a good landing or makes for a bad landing. And I have found that I like soft tires with a stiff frame. In this case, we have a really soft frame and the tires are actually good and soft. So it's actually okay that way. Now, if you fly from grass, you may find that your prop clearance is not very good on this. And as you could see from my landing, now admittedly, I hit that thing. That was not like a prop clearance issue, it was just a piloting error. But the thing is, if you're gonna run off of a rough strip like this I've been trying to get smooth. We're gonna get it smooth eventually, some year. But given that we're extending this runway that away, I don't even know if it's worth doing, because when we're done with that, we'll have them grade this level.
Tear it up. Yeah.
So anyway, Decathlon RJ Gritter 1.2 from E-flite. We really like the E-flite lineups. They're always some of the best stuff you can get. Really high quality builds. And if you take and compare apples to apples, which it's hard to do because of the bind and fly, if you go to a plug and fly or a plug and play, you can do that with a lot of the E-flite offerings, but it's always a better value to get the bind and fly, if you ask me, because the transmitter and receiver combo, I mean, it's all the things you need and want, and it makes it very easy. And that's part of the reason why we want to encourage you, if you're new or just returning to the hobby, to get into something like this, the NX10. Yeah, you can get the NX7, spend a little bit less. If you're not sure you're hooked, the 7 would be a good place to be, because you can do a lot of planes with the 7E. But if you want to do all the planes we've done, you're going to need at least the NX10, because we have run out of channels, and there are a few planes right now. Namely, just off the top of my head, I can think of the F-1680 Thunderbolts, or Thunderbirds rather. That would be the second version of the 80. And it's a fully painted white in red, white, and blue. Beautiful plane. But it has the 8-channel receiver, and then the new receivers have additional non-pluggable channels that you can use for things like thrust reverse and other control features like AS3X on, off, safe on, off, that sort of stuff, okay? Which generally is on the same channel. But the truth is, if you get the bind and fly, you get all that technology crammed into it, and you don't have to pay for the expensive receiver. And when I say expensive, Spectrum seems expensive when you're first getting into the hobby and you're comparing it to like some of the cheapest Chinese garbage. But the truth is, there's a lot more expensive stuff out there if you just look. And as you get a little bit deeper in the hobby, you're gonna find out that this stuff is very competitively priced. And there's a reason that they can set those prices the way they are, because they do a lot of volume. If they were a smaller peer within the RC community, they would not be able to offer them at the same price they do. And so that's part of the reason why we get the bang for the buck we do. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that there's not other good competitive offerings in planes. And so I'm gonna just tell you right now, I like this plane. It is a purpose-driven aerobatic experience. It reminds me a lot of the RV7. Okay, the RV7 is a general aviation plane that can really do some, aerobatics. It's insane on 4S, and I got bugs trying to eat me here. Welcome to spring, right?
Yep.
But I gotta say, it's not gonna be like a great beginner aircraft, okay? There's some people that'll tell you this is the best plane for a beginner because they're trying to like sell you a plane. I don't care what you guys buy as long as you're flying something, okay? If you buy the stuff that we promote on this channel and you buy it from the links, you help support us financially. In fact, so please do that if you can. But the truth is, I don't care what one you pick. I just want you guys to pick the right one for you. And that does not mean that this RJ Gritter plane is right for you. I'm gonna say, it is a more challenging to fly and land plane than I thought it was gonna be. I was kind of like amazed at first. Not in a bad flying characteristic, but just it's very bitey. And if you make a mistake, you find out about it right now. And it takes a second to recover, but that's on the flip side where this plane does really good, and that is recovery. I mean, it takes like almost nothing to get it flying again. And that's part of the reason why they fly this in air shows, because they can do crazy aerobatic maneuvers and they have a high level of survivability. Okay, so also, if you compare this to like the J3 Cub we would have done recently, totally different flying experience. I mean, totally different. And it's funny, the other night I was telling you I was flying this, and they were gone, so she didn't know this. I was flying them back to back, and it is like totally different flying experiences. This is high energy, intense, flip it upside down, put it in a vertical, do a hammerhead, whatever you want, you get it, right? J3, not so much. Now, does that mean it's bad and this is good, or this is bad and that's good? No, it means they're both different. And that's what we want to bring on this channel, is not fastest, best, cheapest, bluest, greenest. That's a waste of your time. If you're into aviation, there's a reason that there's two different types of planes. because they needed two different things done. And the truth is, there are so many different types of planes. I'm trying to get these skeeters if I see them, hon.
Yeah, I know.
And so this, compared to the J3 Cub, the coupling issues on the J3 were huge. But we got those worked out, and that's why you're on Brian Phillips RC. If you're coming back to the hobby, we'll teach you how to use this utility. Yep. And this is a huge, important utility. And it's gonna, I've got hundreds of models in here. In fact, I'm just gonna look at the number. I'm at 205 right here, but I also have about like 40 something. We're like almost out of model memory on Airware. Airware is limited to 250, but I also have a 1 terabyte drive in here. And then it comes equipped with one inside. It's about right there. If you were to take this apart, it sits about there. So I know I'm kind of dancing around here a little bit, but my point is I want to help you guys understand and wrap your mind around what we do here. And that is to bring people back to the table and then to get people off of the couch and get them in the air. We're not here to like say, hey, this is how you mix your turbine fuel consumption to have maximum efficiency. We don't do that here. Like I don't even fly turbines. I want to someday. But like we got a long ways to go before we have a full scale strip, and then maybe. But even then it's gonna be tough to get that, you know, because we got more legalese we'd have to go through, which we're working on. But at the end of the day, we love this hobby. We wanna grow it. We wanna drive down the cost, you know, so you guys can get better planes for the same or less money, which, you know, COVID really screwed that up bad. But the truth is, eventually there's gonna be a bell curve to that. And I believe we're getting close to the edge where things are gonna kind of get caught up, and it's gonna start going back to where it should be, okay? Now, I hope that doesn't mean a complete market crash, but the truth is, if there were a market crash, the funny thing about airplanes is we can't live without them. So even if it's like everything else goes, we're still gonna try to make this work. Right, hon?
Right.
Yeah. So, RJ Gritter, 1.2 meter, show them. Beautiful plane, amazing experience. Brian Phillips RC, little salt and pepper shaker of opinions and, you know, caveats that we've experienced from our flight performances. I can tell you this, I like being able to share my opinion about these planes, but at the end of the day, it's all about what you need right now, okay? So if you think, and you're a brand new pilot, this is probably not the plane for you, okay? It's a little too hard. I would get something that's easier to fly. Okay. Now, if you're an experienced pilot and you want something that's a little bit more than an everyday flyer, this is a great fit. Now, if you want something that's going to slow down and just be a lazy, relaxed flyer, you're going to be disappointed with this plane. And that's not to take anything away from this. Get the, get the Cherokee 1.3. Amazing for that. Okay. If you want something that's slow and relaxing, here's the best of both worlds. Okay. Get the Carbon Z T28. It's huge. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It happens to be on sale right now, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. And it's a great plane. Now, that's not to take anything away from this because it's a different flight experience. But I'm telling you, there is a way to have both your cake and eat it too. And it's called spend 3 times as much.
No, it's called buy the right plane at the right time for the right reason.
So, but if you want all those things together, any of the Carbon Zs are amazing. Yeah. I'm still waiting for a Carbon Z Decathlon. But we really do like what E-flite does. They make good planes. They pretty much like take what's available and they just say like, I want to just take all the features that all the rest of the people wouldn't all put together and we're just gonna put them all together. And that's why we like them. Soft tires, beautiful, fully painted finish. Pull it out of the box, couple of screws together. Look at the screws we have. We have thumb nuts that are made out of metal, which admittedly I'd like to see them made out of a lighter material, but they're really high quality, okay? Mm-hmm. The plane goes together, it looks great. The fit and finish are second to none. And I think there was like a little bit of difficulty getting the tail light hooked up. That was a pain. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, this thing went together real easy. And that's the other thing we do that we bring on Brian Phillips RC if you're brand new, is we do the unbox build radio setup portion. Now that's a different video. So what you want to do is look at the playlists that populate the screen toward the end of the video. You can click on the one that shows this and it's going to take you to the playlist. You can go back to the very beginning and watch it. This will be like our third video. The first was the unbox, then the maidens, and then this one. Okay. And sometimes we do revisits. Other times we change features. Maybe I cut in flaps someday, even though it's not in real life. I like flaps. Okay. We could do that on this plane if I wanted. It'd be easy. Okay. We can show you how to do that. We'll add that to the playlist. Now, what you may not realize is we probably have 400 of those playlists, okay? So if you go to brianphillipsrc.com brianphillipsrc.com, if you go to brianphillipsrc.com, then you can see all the planes sorted by type. Sorry, we had a tractor going by. This is super loud. So if you go to brianphillipsrc.com, you can see planes that are sorted by type and also by affiliates and different companies we've worked with in the past. And that way, it's easy to find something that would be a competitive offering that's similar to this. And all you have to do is look at the thumbnails. They're always the same. Holding the plane, got a smile, or whatever. Maybe there's a crash involved. We put it on the thumbnail. But at the end of the day, they're pretty easy to sort through, okay? So we want to help you guys get from where you are now to where you want to be. And we also want to help grow the RC community by getting people to buy planes that are amazing, okay? And if they're terrible, we're gonna tell you that. And if I don't like them because I don't like it, I'll tell you that, and then you guys can decide if you like it, even though I didn't like it. But we're gonna try to give you the raw data to make a decision. And plus you can use me as the analog, you know, like, hey, he's a normal pilot, little below average. So if he can fly it, I'll do really good with it. Or maybe you can look at me and you can say, hey, he's better than me because I'm just starting. So do I think I can handle that plane? I don't know, it looked like he struggled to land it. Maybe I should hold off. This is what we wanna do here, is give you guys, I keep thinking of this like truth in advertising, but it's not just advertising. We're talking about planes that we want you to buy, of course. But the truth is, anybody can make an ad online and make their plane look amazing. We're really doing it in real life, in real time and space. Then you can use that to make your own decision. So if you don't like this plane, I get it. There's tons of others. Is it my favorite plane? It's really kind of not. Is it an awesome experience? It's very cool. But guess what I did with my RV7? I didn't like it that much. It's an awesome flying plane, super fun, very compelling, you know, high excitement flyer. But it's like the opposite of what I do, which is, except that this is more scale. And I love scale planes. And I do love general aviation planes a lot, like even sometimes better than warbirds, which is crazy, I know. But the truth is, I like that low and slow sunset flight. But that speaks to our terrain and our flying site, okay? You might be in a wide open, flat plane with nothing around, and the excitement you get is 100% coming from the plane, okay? So you might like this better. So at the end of the day, is it a good plane? Yeah. Does it go together well? It sure does. Is it easy to use with Spectrum equipment? Absolutely. Are you gonna like the plane? I think you probably will. If you don't like this plane in the video, you won't like it. So get something else. But if you do like the plane in this video, there's a good chance you're gonna like it, okay? Also, it is a newer offering, which is good because the Decathlon in this size class, I don't know to my knowledge that they've done it before, okay? So that means it should be around for a little bit, which is kind of nice. So if you're on the fence, maybe check out one of the things that's on sale right now, pick that up right now, and then jump into this when you're ready, okay? So just our 2 cents worth. If you wanna support us when you do follow the links, that's how we make a living on this, or whatever you wanna call this that we're doing. And if you don't like this product, you wanna buy something totally different, we have links. Is that fog or is that dust?
Or smoke.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
But if you like something else better, that's fine. You can support us. Just go to Brian Phillips RC, find the link. It's right there, okay? We got the links down below the pictures, and we can also take you to the video on YouTube so you can see the video. Also, 4S 2200 is gonna give you the power and insanity that you want on this plane. I probably wouldn't even fly it on 3S, but I know it can be flown on 3S technically, okay? So if you want something a little bit more like slow and less exciting, and more like scary when you need power right now to get out of a terrible situation, then do 3S. I would not recommend it though. So I do like that it's a standard size, like a very common size battery. And it's very easy to get the battery in and out. But one other complaint that's just a stupid little detail. When I go to put this canopy on, there is a little bit of a geometrical issue that when you lift it too much, you'll hit these things. They're made of plastic, so you have to be a little bit careful to kind of drop it down and out. Now, is it untenable? No. But is it sort of awkward? Yeah. Mine isn't damaged yet because I'm like super careful, but I could see people that were less careful having trouble with that. The good news is once you get that off, it's really easy to load a battery, okay? So what I usually do is I like to come in like this, tuck it, drop it and then slide it back forward, and then I can just drop it back in. It's a very nice fit though. And I believe I added that. Did I?
I think we did.
So, and you can see that in the Unbox Build radio setup, just a piece of tape. So hopefully we answered all your questions. Decathlon 1.2 from E-flite, another great option to add to your repertoire if you're into it. And if you're not, if you want something slower, more general aviation and a little bit less aerobatic, which again, coming back to what they're going for, this is the RG Gritter plane. So like, that's what they do. They're trying to encompass an experience, okay? And they did that. But if you're just wanting the general aviation version, then maybe you want to get that 1.3 meter Cherokee or something else like that, like the Cirrus SR-22T. Really cool plane. Long, skinny wings. That's a 1.5, by the way. That's pretty big.
The Cirrus is?
It's a 1.5, I think.
Yeah, that's a lot bigger.
Yeah, it's a big plane.
Yeah.
So, and also 1.3 for the Cherokee. But talk about wing loading differences. I think the wing loading on that Cherokee is probably half of this. It might be a little bit less than that, but it's a lot easier on the sticks. Very easy to land, and also gives you thrust reverse, beautiful glass canopy. So lots of fun there. All right, that's all you get for tonight, guys. Brian Phillips RC on YouTube. If we didn't see it in all, or if you're seeing this before in all, we're gonna be at Joe Nall. We should be arriving in South Carolina on Tuesday at some point, and then we'll be ready to enjoy the event on Wednesday through Saturday. Partway through the day, we'll have to leave to get back on an airplane. And just keep in mind, we are flying in. So it's just, we can't make it work driving. It's just too many days to get there and back. So if you guys wanna coordinate to meet up with us, or maybe you've got a plane that you want me to fly, or you wanna let me fly, or like, hey, challenge me with this plane, that would be amazing. And I would love it, because it's gonna kill me seeing all these planes and not being able to fly. I've already got a couple of takers, and so I'm super excited. But if you guys are one of those people, or you've watched us for years and you've never met us, we would love to meet you. So we'll be around at the Horizon tent and some other places, so stay tuned. And if you guys aren't already Patreons, YouTube members, you can join whenever you want. Should be pretty easy to find the links down below. And then we also have one-time donations through YouTube Super Thanks and then PayPal. But still, the best way you can support Brian Phillips RC is watch the videos, like the videos, and every once in a while watch the whole thing. I know it's hard. And then buy these things when you like them from the links in the video description below. It is the most direct route to success, because then everybody wins in this equation. You win because you get a great plane. We win because we get commissioned. And then the manufacturers that we partner with win as well, or hobby shops, local mom pop shops, whoever it is we happen to be working with on a particular product. In this case, it'd be E-flite. So very good brand, very good plane. This might not be the one for you if you're new, okay? Even though it has safe, it is definitely a handful to land, because it takes a lot of real estate to get in and land. So, all right, guys, that's all you got. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. There's so much more right around the corner on Brian Phillips RC.